Shalom, giving all honor, all praise, and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Arachakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone that rule well. And as always, peace, blessings, and salutations unto the awful elect tabernacle of David that are scattered abroad across the four winds of the earth. And I'm going to try not to make this a long video, but I just want to make a response to some things that I saw in this video. And this is from Ask an Older Man, right? He has his little podcast where he's talking about the women and the dating market and how men are pretty much they're giving these women the cold shoulder and they're pretty much checked out. They're done with giving these women any attention, things that haven't been working out due to the dynamic. And a lot of these women, they got their minds fucked over, when they listen to the ideologies coming from out of the Western world. Because for the most part, the women on the eastern side of the world, for the most part, they were raised to be traditional, with traditional values, being family oriented, being mothers, being wives. But a lot of the old world, they took it on the Babylonian wine of the West, and so that conflated with their original cultural belief systems and values. So that kind of messed them over, and it destroyed the dynamic between man and woman, destroying families. But now, because of what's going on in the earth, and a lot of men are starting to give these women a cold shoulder and not give them the attention anymore. So women are starting to figure this out, and they're noticing what's happening. And for women that are traditional, they still have somewhat of a traditional mindset, this is basically like a state of emergency for them. All right. This is actually a danger that they themselves can recognize. All right. So a lot of these women, they're starting to take notice to that. And now they're trying to formulate some kind of action. And you're going to see in this clip that I'm going to show y'all that even Moab is on some Isaiah 4:1-ish. All right. And if it's happening with them over there, how much more here in the States, especially when adversity, really starts to increase. Because the Lord, he did say that he would create a new thing in the earth, that a woman shall compass a man. But what would be able to change that? What would flip that dynamic? Adversity, When these women start to realize that they no longer have their comfort and the power and the control that they're used to, and they don't have the security anymore, that's when things start to change. All right. So I'm gonna play this video so y'all can listen, and then we'll get a couple of precepts. Like I said, it's not gonna be a long video, but even Moab is on some Isaiah 4:1 tip. So let's take a listen to this.
To survive, whereby the woman needs more resources to survive on her own than a man does. Who has the disadvantage? Women do. I'm just laying the facts out. For me, it's neither here nor there. But you can't deny these facts. Rebut me anywhere, shape, or form in the comment section. I'll be happy to answer you.
Shenzhen's older single women are reaching their breaking point, with some even offering to share the ownership of their apartments for a future husband. You heard? This isn't just something I made up. Recently, we've seen a surge in Shenzhen girls signing up for matchmaking events. Many have explicitly stated that they don't want a bridal gift or a house car from the man. Even more surprisingly, some girls say they won't ask anything from the man if he's willing to marry them. They'd even provide an apartment in Shenzhen. I'm truly baffled. What's going on? Have they suddenly lost their minds?
So these are women that they pretty much sense that there's definitely a state of emergency. These men are hard to come by. There's a shortage of men. We outnumber them, you know, by great numbers. And they don't even want nothing to do with us. The men that we do have access to, they don't even want nothing to do with us. So how do we handle this situation? So these women are now, and this is in China, these Moabite chicks, they're basically willing to provide shelter for the man. They're willing to they're willing to already have themselves situated and to invite a man to come live with them in their home, and the man doesn't even need to give them anything. They don't need to come with, basically the man is not a requirement for them to treat them like these Western women expect men to treat them in this society. With the Western women, you better already be established. You better be making this amount of money. All right. You better have the financial security. You need to be taking care of me. You need to be doing this. Basically give your whole strength to the woman. But over there, they have an opposite approach, just so that they can land a husband. If this doesn't give Isaiah 4:1 vibes, I don't know what. Like, let me run it back. Let me play this again.
I'm just laying the facts out. For me, it's neither here nor there. But you can't deny these facts. Rebut me anywhere, shape, or form in the comment section. I'll be happy to answer you.
Shenzhen's older single women are reaching their breaking point, with some even offering to share the ownership of their apartments for a future husband. You heard? This isn't just something I made up. Recently, we've seen a surge in Shenzhen girls signing up for matchmaking events. Many have explicitly stated that they don't want a bridal gift or a house car from the man. Even more surprisingly, some girls say they won't ask anything from the man if he's willing to marry them.
In other words, just like it say in Isaiah 4, these women, they're gonna basically say within themselves, I don't need nothing from you. I just need you to marry me. I'll take care of everything else. Let's go to that in Isaiah 4 real quick. I'm gonna read it in the NLT. This is Isaiah 4 verse 1. It says, "In that day so few men will be left that 7 women will fight for each man, saying, 'Let us all marry you. We will provide our own food and clothing.'" All right, meaning you don't even have to provide for us. We'll basically take care of ourselves. We don't need nothing from you. Just only let us take your name so we won't be mocked as old maids. And this is dealing with Moab. All right. See, I'll be willing to I'll take a few of them. Because like the apostles been saying, you don't need the nigger woman to bring back the nigger woman. You don't need none of the Latin tribes to bring back the Latin tribes. We can deal with a non-Israelite woman and still bring you back. And they seem to be more willing to get in line and submit than you do. Moab is already in Isaiah 4:1 mode before you women of the tribes. So no wonder why these men over here are checked out and they're willing to get their passports and go overseas. Because they looking for some women that's willing to, make that step, man. Over here, you don't even know if she's gonna be even into you. You putting all this energy and spending all this money and, all this investing into a woman, and you don't even know if she's really with you or genuinely like you. But these women right here, they like, man, you ain't even got to do all that. We just need a husband, and we'll take care of the rest, man. We'll take care of you. We just need some security. Now, you women of the tribes over here, y'all about to get overlooked and passed up, man. Because it's mainly y'all that's complaining online, saying, where's the men at? You're starting to feel like a wilderness, huh? Hey, it's because you women are unwilling to change over here. You've been complacent. That's why it says in Isaiah the 32nd chapter, rise up, you women that are at ease. All right, you women that are complacent. There's something about you that you're not willing to change, and that's the reason why the results are the way are what they are. These women, they're willing, man. They're switching it up. And so you got a flux of American men going over there and getting with these women. All right, but let me play it again. This is straight up Isaiah 4:1 right here. But this is with heathen women. Some brothers will hold out and be like, man, fuck you Western women. I can wait and just go over there and have plenty of women. It can bring you right back. Because I can preserve my line, the lineage of my tribe. You know, hell, Boaz, he was of Judah, and he preserved that line through Ruth, who happened to be a Moabite, and brought forth King David's grandfather. So it ain't nothing, man. Anyway, let's play this again.
Breaking point, with some even offering to share the ownership of their apartments for a future husband. You heard? This isn't just something I made up. Recently, we've seen a surge in Shenzhen girls signing up for matchmaking events. Many have explicitly stated that they don't want a bridal gift or a house car from the man. Even more surprisingly, some girls say they won't ask anything from the man if he's willing to marry them. They'd even provide an apartment in Shenzhen. I'm truly baffled. What's going on?
Man, like, yo, you know, are they for real? Let me check your temperature. Is there something in the water over there? Like, what's happening? But no, it's really, you know, that's the spirit that's going out, because we at the end of this thing. And these women, they starting to sense the danger. They see what's happening. There's you women over here in the West that's still prideful. So that's why the scriptures say there's a forgetfulness of affliction in the day of prosperity. And in the day of prosperity, there's a forgetfulness of affliction. So what's going to make you women leave off from that pride? Adversity, affliction, all right, trouble, tribulation. And that's what, when you read Isaiah 4, what led to that is what? When you read the previous chapter, all right, that there will be war, it will be famine, or the men will be dying in the war. You women will be basically left, you know, stripped with nothing. The Lord would take, you know, strip your beauty from you. And you'll be basically destitute and desperate. So you'll be trying to fight for an average man. And the Lord said he's going to make a man more precious than fine gold. And that ain't just no average man. That's a first fruit. All right? Highly valuable, especially in the eyes of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And that's who's going to be divinely protected. The men of the Most High. So you women are eventually going to have this same attitude that even these Moabite women got. When you realize that it's a shortage of men. There's not enough men to go around. And a lot of men are checked out. They ain't even checking for you. So you're going to have to, you know, switch it up. You're going to have to make some concessions, man. And this is spirit, though, because, you know, dealing with Moab, right? We know that Moab, along with Ammon, they were the sons of Lot. And if you understand how Moab and Ammon came about, the Lord had brought judgment upon Sodom and Gomorrah and those neighboring cities. And he gave the instruction to Lot and his family that get the hell up out of the city for what he's getting ready to do. And whatever you do, do not look back. What happened? They moved forward. Lot's wife was the only stupid one to look back. She turned back and got turned into a pillar of salt. So now it was just Lot left with his two daughters. All right. And they were probably some young, teenage girls. And they felt, after what the Lord just done, There might not be any more men left standing on the earth. So how are we going to be able to replenish the earth? They ended up getting their father drunk, and he ended up going into him. All right. They became pregnant. It was incestual. That was off. But they felt like we ain't got no other choice. So they was willing to do anything to bring forth children because they had that traditional mindset. Women, they understood that their purpose was to bring forth children into the earth. All right. So that spirit is on Moab, the Moabite women, the Ammonite women. And we can't forget about a year or two ago, they were saying that there was a shortage of breeding over there in Japan, and they was in need of seed. And guess who they were calling for? Who seed that they was calling for? They was calling for Jake. They wanted Jake to come over there, and they was willing to pay them. They was willing to pay Jake men to come over there and breed with those Ammonite women. And them women, they go crazy for Jake. Especially the ones that's in the hip hop culture and all that. They crazy for Jake. Filipino women, they crazy for Jake. So the Lord is, he's basically, putting that spirit out in the earth. All right, because they're starting to realize that, shit has changed for the worse. Men don't even want nothing to do with you women, man. Especially over here in the States. The whole dynamic between male and female is totally destroyed. All right, because you women bought into that serpent's poison, and you've been intoxicated ever since. And now it's starting to wear off a bit, and now some of you starting to come to your senses and realize that you got lied to, man. You seduced out of your socks. Now you realize you in deep shit because the men no longer want to protect you, don't want to marry you, and we're in harsh realities right now under the Trump administration. He making it hard for you women. Now you women that are in the nursing field, is not looking good. So, yeah, you women better start humbling down. You better think like these Moabite women. Because that's the same spirit that you read about in Isaiah 4:1. And it tells you in 2nd Ezra 16 that you're going to have, virgins. They're going to be mourning because they have no helper. Widows, they're going to be mourning because they have no husband. And the virgins, they're going to complain because there's no helper. So what's your contingency plan, you women? So, yeah, man. I just have to go into that. And even when you read the commentary, some of the commentaries on Isaiah 4, it even mentions about Lot's daughters. Let me see real quick. Could be David Gazik. Let me see. No. Let me go to Matthew Henry. Yep. So this is the commentary from Matthew Henry. And he brings up the example of Lot's daughters. All right. It says that by reason of the scarcity of men, though marriage should be kept up for the raising of recruits and the preserving of the race of mankind upon earth, yet the usual method of it should be quite altered, that whereas men ordinarily make their court to the women should now take hold of the men. And the women are going to flip and they're gonna start to court men, to get men to marry them. Picture that. Imagine that. Women are courting men now. It says the women should now take hold of the men, foolishly fearing, as Lot's daughters did when they saw the ruin of Sodom, and perhaps thought it reached further than it did, that in a little time there would be none left. Shortage of men. That whereas women naturally hate to come in sharers with others, 7 should now by consent become the wives of one man, and that whereas by the law the husband was obligated to provide food and raiment for his wife, which with many would be the most powerful argument against multiplying wives, these women will be bound to support themselves. Like them women, these Moabite chicks. You ain't got to gift us nothing. You ain't got to we don't want nothing from you. We got apartments. We got shelter. We'll support ourselves. They will eat bread of their own earning and wear apparel of their own working, and the man they court shall be at no expense upon them. Only they desire to be called his wives, to take away the reproach of a single life. You see that? And this is what's happening with Moab. All right. and hey, that's that's unheard of, especially women with this mindset. A woman here in the West having this mindset, that's like a needle in a haystack. That's very rare for them. But you see, this spirit is is coming upon the earth. So I take a few of them. All right, word to Boaz, man. But anyway, I'm gonna end it right there, and hopefully y'all were edified. I'm gonna give all honor, praise, and glory to y'all by Shemel Shai. Shalom.